Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
How you doing?
For our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick heads up, this episode is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, specifically the discussion portion of the show.
And you can become a member to watch it uncut as well, either here on YouTube or on Patreon. Both are $5 a month. You can find the link in the description for the Patreon, or you can hit the join button here on YouTube to become a member. We'll give you a countdown with a time code, and you can watch the show with us all uncut.
And y'all, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell so that you can be notified for when we have a new upload.
Indeed.
Tony Tuesday. Abe and Charlie, how y'all doing?
We're doing
Sure.
good.
Good.
Yes, sir.
We're getting to the season where a lot of good movies are coming out.
Yes, very true.
It's getting exciting.
Yeah.
Even though Charlie hasn't seen a single damn one.
He's seen Doom Part 2. Come on.
I think that was the last time I went to the movies. I'm not
That's
gonna
so
lie.
crazy.
But at least he's still seen Doom Part 2.
Are you going to come watch Gladiator?
I will watch Gladiator.
Okay.
I have to watch the first one still. I bought it. I own it. I have to watch it.
We can watch it together.
Okay.
We have Wicked coming out.
We'll watch it
Yeah.
tomorrow.
And we got our tickets for Interstellar, the re-release.
Yes.
We'll watch
In
Gladiator.
IMAX.
We'll watch Gladiator tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Maybe. Possibly, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Dope. But before we get started and jump into this episode, let me read some comments from our last upload. This first one comes from Joe James, and he says, truly a chaotic episode. It gets reasonably overshadowed by the ending of Junior shooting Tony, but I've always found this to be a rather unique episode. They take a relatively unmemorable character in Eugene and toss you into his story, making you empathize with his struggle. Yeah, I agreed. There's another comment that talks about where we've seen Eugene earlier, but like outside of this episode, like this was the most we got from his character and the background and all of that. So
Eugene? Who's?
Gene.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Eugene.
So his name is
his name's
Eugene, but
It's
Oh,
short
okay.
for Gene.
Gotcha.
Or Gene is short
Yeah,
for Gene.
yeah. Right from the start, like as soon as he asks Tony the thing and then he goes home, we all like felt it. He goes home and starts talking to his wife about everything. We're like, this is not going to go well.
It's not going to go well, yeah. You thought he was going to get killed, but, you know, we seeing the demise at the end. The next one comes from JMC296, and it says, Tony complaining about never catching a break and then cutting to Raymond dying right before implicating Tony in a murder will never stop being hilarious.
Yeah.
that was executed really well.
The irony there is too good. This last one comes from Belotus7611, and it says, if you go back to season 3, Eugene and Chris were made at the same ceremony, which makes it even more tragic and kind of messed up when you see Chris talking down to him about putting in a good word with Tony. The point about squeezing Gene, we see over time that the FBI has informants out the wazoo. They build cases for years. This was also the first episode of the series that I saw when I was younger, so I had a much bigger attachment to Eugene than I otherwise would have.
I forgot that he is the other guy because
Yeah.
I remember asking at that point. I was like, who's the other dude?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Getting
Like it feels like the show is so well built because like these little seeds are planted, and I don't know if it was, you know, imagined at that exact moment when David Chase wrote that scene where he gets made with Chris, that later on we'd have this exact storyline about Gene, but it feels like these little seeds are planted anywhere that you can just build the story off of so well. And it felt like that was just like very good connecting and calling back from a way past season. Which I think is one of the really great parts of this show and this series in general. But yeah, that's all the comments.
With that being said, y'all, Charlie, episode 2, join the club.
In the club.
Go back to the club. Oh, he must be dreaming.
Maybe I was going to say, does his room look a little different?
Bro, he should be in the hospital right now. He got shot.
That's right. Yeah, he's definitely dreaming. That look up was crazy. It's like, what? He's going to keep going in and out of the dream, isn't he?
Good morning. Anthony Soprano.
Yep. See some photo ID, please.
What the hell? This isn't my wallet. And this isn't my briefcase.
What the hell's going on with you?
I was at a bar across the street from my hotel. I must have picked up the wrong stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm here, so I'll try to call the bar, but...
Oh, the accent.
This is the way he actually talks.
Look, I just flew in from New Jersey.
This is so bizarre.
I'm on the list.
Sorry, it's a whole new world.
Got a big $87 in cash to my name.
So his briefcase is at Bally too?
No.
Everyone's different.
Didn't look at the brand name when I picked it up. It just looked like mine, that's all.
What's in the briefcase? Did you look?
Yeah, of course I looked. There's a bunch of brochures for solar heating systems.
I can't. It's so crazy.
What was that other voice?
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who? Carmela.
Was it? Doesn't
Yeah,
sound-
it said it was Carmela.
Oh, it did on this. Oh, okay. Sounded different.
It was, yeah, everyone's sounding different.
But I'm gonna need the room back. Soprano.
I am sorry, but we're completely booked.
You kidding?
I'm afraid not. There's 6 conventions in town. You might try the Omni.
Trouble is I lost my wallet, so how the hell am I gonna check in there without a credit card?
Well, you face the same problem here.
What convention is he attending? I saw something with a satellite. I didn't
I
really
have no
understand.
idea.
Like, what job do you have now in this dream world?
Gonna ask for ID, you can't get a drink. That'd be really funny.
You realize I can't even get on a plane without a picture ID?
God, that's right.
Yeah, that was a whole change for them at the time because of 9/11.
Right.
All the security measures got
TSA.
changed. Yeah, you need an ID to get on the flight. There's security.
Bag a sandwich. Come eat with us. A few of us are getting the table. Dude lost his wallet and briefcase.
Oh, that's all right. Thanks anyway.
Come on. That tool who took your stuff shows up, we'll all pound his ass.
Okay. Thanks.
What a dream. Oh my gosh.
Wonder who that lady's supposed to be.
You never did tell us how you made the jump from selling patio furniture to precision optics.
Well, like my wife says, that's a good question.
Precision optics.
Hi, Daddy. I mean volleyball.
All right. I told you, didn't I? You were worried over nothing. How's your brother?
Mom put him to bed early. He puked.
Is he dreaming what his life would be like if he worked a regular job?
I
what I'm
guess. Like,
assuming.
what's a normal life?
Yeah.
I'm 46 years old. I mean, who am I? Where am I going?
Join the club.
It feels like a dream, but also a flashback. It was like Meadows younger. AJ got put to
Disease
bed.
and death real?
What the hell?
And he's still going to be a cheater, though, in this world, right?
Same dude. Same dude.
Crazy.
This isn't gonna happen.
What are you talking about?
I saw your face when you got off the phone with your wife.
So?
Don't sweat it. It's sweet, actually.
I could even be some other guy tonight. Get away with the whole shebang, but no. I blow it.
They're looking for a perp.
His face there, but I can't.
Eyes are open. 2, 3.
Stuck in the vent. Give me the light.
Oh, God.
He was just lying there peacefully, just like he has been, and then he's still butthurt.
Room 3. The gunshot.
He pulled his tubes out.
The hell, bro?
Please wait
Where's the other vent,
outside.
please?
I got it. Oh, jeez.
Mr. Soprano.
Tony. What, honey?
What? Where am I going?
We're right here with you. Tony, who am I? Who am I?
Get ready to be tube him. Sir, can you hear me?
Where am I? Where am I going?
Tony.
All right, I'm have to insist that you guys leave. Getting this breathing tube back in is something you're not going to want to see.
Oh, yeah. Bro. Second they say that, I'm like, yep, I'm out.
Yeah, because he had like puke stains everywhere.
Dad's not so good right now. They made us leave.
This hair on him is crazy. I'm not going to lie. I saw Polly snoring.
The whole gang's here.
What's the latest?
He came out of the coma for a minute. They took the breathing tube out.
Goddamn, Junior.
Anthony Soprano's not going to die. I don't know what everybody's talking about.
Nobody's saying he's gonna die.
Yeah, you sound like you're projecting, bro.
Van Helsing. Let's go.
He's on my way. Bullshit. You live in Bellevue.
What do you care?
You already bought this for your dough.
Let's go.
Oh, my God. Everyone's just trying to get an opportunity to kiss ass. Come on.
Yeah.
Got him back on the ventilator. Mucus plug. The bullet didn't just tear up the pancreas, but it impacted the gallbladder. Sepsis is the big problem. An infection in the blood. I've got him sedated and restrained so he can't pull his breathing tubes out. As we discussed before, we're probably not looking at a very good outcome here.
Well, should we call Dr. Plepler?
I'll let him know. And, Tashlin, too. He'll stop by.
Does he know that he's dying?
We don't know.
That's horrible.
Sepsis is bad. Bad, bad.
Wow.
Where is Uncle Junior? That's what I want to know.
It's a great
They probably-
question.
They probably detained him.
Back at the conference, baby.
My name is Finnerty. I called to reserve the room.
Yes, Mr. Finnerty. We have you down for a single room for the night. Did you wish to keep that on the visa?
Yeah.
I'll need to take an imprint to cover incidentals.
Oh, the monks in the background? Hello?
Yeah.
Room 728. Elevators are on your left. Have a good night.
So funny watching him wear this, too, like the type of suit.
How fortuitous we should meet up with you again.
You know him.
Months you have ignored our letters and phone calls. Well, we are now filing suit against you.
I'm not Kevin Finnerty. I have his wallet by mistake, and I guess I look a little like him.
We had a horrible winter at the monastery because of your heating system.
I'm not Kevin Finnerty.
Lose your arrogance.
Son of a bitch.
Hey, come on, guys.
He hit me.
Oh, my God.
Don't let he hit me.
You okay?
Don't let him go.
He
slapped me in the mouth.
Did you file a police report?
Why would a monk slap you?
That's what I'm saying. That is very uncharacteristic of a monk, I feel like.
I miss you.
I miss you too. But you're off in your own world. You're too distracted with work. This is partly your fault. Call me later if you can't sleep.
Interesting.
Partly your fault, huh?
Oh.
Oh, the bear.
And it's like a sweet little teddy bear in this one because that's kind of how he is in here. It seems.
Yeah.
Very chill.
More agreeable. Oh, it still seems like he has his temper issues.
He's going to fall.
Yeah, it keeps showing us that.
Grab onto the railing, brother. There it is.
Hi. How's my big brother doing today?
Oh, my God.
Ooh. Oh.
Everything's okay here.
Well, you mean just the surgery, per se?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the sepsis?
Yeah, well, that's the concern. What did Tashlin say this morning?
Dr. Tashlin never came in here this morning.
Well, no matter. I'll be talking to him.
Does this mean the chances could be worse that my husband could not come out of this coma?
Actually, now we've induced coma. He's snowed with Ativan.
What? Why?
Control the seizures while we try to knock down the fever with antibiotics.
Well, it says his temperature's down some.
But the problem here is not only are we looking at the obvious negative outcome, but in these cases, we also contemplate degrees of brain damage in the event he does survive. Talk to him also. Keep him engaged. You might want to play some of his favorite music. You know, fortunately for him, he is at a level 1 trauma center. Oh, with his injuries, believe me, he would have been dead 12 hours ago.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. I can't get used to this. Oh, my God.
Sorry, I can't laugh.
Jesus Christ, Janice.
I'm laughing at you laughing. By the way.
But I mean,
Repeat the following sentence. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I'll do it if I fucking feel like it. Take your ultimatum and stick them in your ass. What is this person talking about?
These people are trying to establish for the government that if you shot Anthony Soprano, which we're not conceding, that it certainly wasn't intentional, that you were confused and disoriented.
Don't coach him, please.
My nephew Anthony?
That's why you're here in custody.
Where's Mel?
You dismissed Mr. Melvoin as your attorney and hired me. Because of his paralyzed hand from his stroke, it made you nervous.
If somebody shot my nephew, it was him himself. He's a depression case.
Jesus. Wow.
Oh, boy. God.
Bro, at this point, they're regular customers at this funeral home.
I'm the one you come to. Likewise, weekly, I collect for the skip, taking out a portion for Carmela, to run the house, and that shit there.
Good.
Absolutely. Anybody got any questions? For now, not personal questions relating to yourself, but about the family. Yeah, Vito.
The sports book in Roseville. By rights, that should go to me now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what'd I just say? Not about yourself.
What do we do about Junior?
He's in jail. That puts him out of our reach.
Not necessarily.
He's a demented old f***. I say we do nothing, let him rot.
Marvin Gaye, his own nephew, the boss of this family. What happens to Junior is Tony's call.
That's right.
Bobby, all due respect, where the f*** were you that night? Why was the skipper babysitting Junior?
I had other family obligations. Ask my wife. Tony volunteered.
Oh, boy.
They're trying to turn it on him, bro. Poor Bobby.
Vito is becoming more of a shit stirrer.
He's got to make an issue out of everything lately.
Roseville's been Junior's territory since the Big Bang. Which means it goes to Bobby now that Junior's out of the picture.
Vito already pulls down more scratch than anybody from the unions.
Let him go to the hospital first. That fat f***ing kiss ass. I'm buying Tony a nice little stereo for the room.
He don't need that. Look at this f***ing mutt. Who wouldn't like to take the easy way out?
Jesus Christ.
That's horrible to say.
Yeah, Tony doesn't even know about Gene. We sure that's Genesis' baby? It's really cute.
It's Bobby's, too. Don't forget that.
Bro, this man.
That happens, too.
What do you say?
He basically was like, oh, maybe he's gay and couldn't live with himself.
I'm dead.
Oh, the irony in this episode is great.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird.
Would you call it growing up soprano?
Why is he talking to the press, bro?
Because the reporter is
Idiot. This guy's an
attractive. That's why.
Don't talk to them. Say nothing. Where are your father's CDs?
I forgot.
Oh, Jesus God. Anthony, everybody is pitching in here but you.
Thanks, Mom.
I wish you would go to class if this is all you're gonna do.
Put my father in the hospital?
Does she know he smokes?
I mean, she just saw it. Yeah. He's in college now, though, I guess, so whatever.
Yeah, he did buy the stereo, huh?
Oh, Chris bought
Chris.
it.
Oh, Chris did?
Because Paulie said he was going to do it, and he's like, he doesn't need that.
Beat him to the punch.
I got some CDs from my car. Oh, yes, you like this one?
Yo, those CD bags before, or like the zipper case, that's like ultimate nostalgia right there.
We definitely still have some of those around.
Oh, yeah. I had a Backstreet Boy CD, bro. I put that thing in my Walkman all the time.
My first car, somebody left a demo CD in there, like
some random,
or just like
rapper.
no, it's not a demo, like a mix. It was
Oh
someone's
yeah,
mix.
mixtape.
Yeah, just a bunch of random songs, and
So
I
a
kept
playlist.
it. Yeah, a playlist. Yeah,
I remember that actually.
I kept transitioning it to each car until it got to the point where cars don't have CD players anymore. So now I can't.
Ain't that crazy?
Can't use it.
My kingdom for a mortadell, huh?
I make a great sandwich here. No getting around it.
And what about that disease you picked up over there in Diarrhea Stan or wherever the you were?
This might be the cure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was sorry to hear about Tony.
Yeah, well, I got nothing to say about what happened, so...
It's not why I asked.
How goes the war on terror anyway?
Working it.
I heard Fieldcrest reported a truckload of towels missing.
We actually spend a little more of our time trying to interdict the financial networks that fund the terror cells worldwide.
No shit. Truck hijacking, narcotics. In fact, if you ever heard of anything going down, Middle Easterners, Pakistanis, you'd be helping a lot if you picked up a phone.
And called you?
It's your country too, isn't it?
Like I'd know one of these suicide jerk-offs if he bit me on the ass.
You knew Matoush Gia hung out at your girlfriend's club?
Wow.
He was a drug dealer, her friend. I didn't know shit about his politics till one of your people told me. I take that terrorism shit seriously. And Tony, don't even get him started.
That's true. I think it's a little bit racially motivated, but it's true.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, if they somehow convince this man to inform at some capacity,
because he's an
he
idiot,
is the biggest hypocrite in the world. Because he literally killed his guy's girlfriend, killed for the same thing.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy turn.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense in my mind, but
I don't think so either, but things can happen.
Yeah.
Remember that? That wave picked her up and slammed her down on her head in the sand.
Oh, we've been there.
Yep.
And remember the time that she got the cramps from eating a huge calzone? You had to go in after her. She almost dragged you down by your hair. At one time, you had enough hair that a woman could grab it with both her hands.
Now you're bald.
You're gonna be fine, Tony. I know it. The doctors say you're gonna be fine, too. They are very confident. They know that you're really strong. You're strong as a bull.
Bro, he just needs to find his wallet and briefcase in the dream and he'll wake up. That's all that needs to happen.
Pretty much.
When you used to pick me up and throw me over your shoulder, oh my God, Tony. You used to get me so hot down there.
Oh, she's trying everything. You gotta respect it. Imagine, bro, he wakes up because horny. That would have been crazy.
Insane.
She just threw it up, bro. She just said.
Just trying everything. I
Man, sex drive is through the roof. So
Take that full course shot.
Try to be Peyton Pritchard. You gotta respect. You gotta heave it up.
Oh, looks
she's
like
also acting like a motherly figure right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
The stuff she was saying before the...
Oh, I told you that you were going to go to hell when you died, when you had that MRI. And you threw my words back at me when we got separated, and you were right. It was a horrible thing to say. It's a sin, and I will be judged for it. You're a good father. You care about your friends. Yes, it's been rough between us. Our hearts get so hardened against each other. I don't know why. But you are not going to hell.
You know what this reminds me of? Livia. Remember when she would always talk about your dad was a saint, your dad was a saint?
Right.
Like after he died kind of thing.
Good point.
But it's also just the concept of like when you're about to lose someone, you don't remember the bad. You remember you remember the good.
Yeah, that's true.
Mr. Finnerty, sorry it took so long, but I saw some things on the CT scan I didn't like, which is why I ordered the MRI.
All from a punch from a monk?
No, when he fell down the stairs, remember?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Oh, my God.
See these dark areas? These are parts of your brain that have been oxygen deprived. Unfortunately, these are consistent with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's.
Oh, whoa.
Alzheimer's? I'm 46 years old. This goddamn miserable trip.
The good news is the treatment picture isn't quite as bleak as it would have been a while back.
It's a death sentence. You're a smurf for 10 or 15 years, and then you die, shitting in your pajamas. I know people with Alzheimer's.
Mr. Finnerty, talk to your own docs back home.
My name's not even Finnerty. I lost my wallet in my briefcase, and I picked his up. So you guys took out his insurance card from his wallet.
Or did it? Or is it the Alzheimer's?
This is so interesting.
Yeah, he could have just been really confused. In a way, he's kind of like getting Junior's perspective.
A little bit.
AJ wanted to come, but he got a really bad stomach flu from a burrito.
This man, remember not too long ago, he was worried about carbs.
Now he's eating his dad's portion.
Like he said, he took some Pepto-Bismol. He got a stomach flu, but
Yeah. He's stress eating.
Where does he get it from?
Yeah. Oh, my God. He's just eating salad.
He's eating rabbit food.
How much do you know about the Prius?
Oh, God.
Bruh.
I could have been naked in here.
You need to familiarize yourself with hybrid cars, Meadow. It's important. This is the conversation in the future.
Why are you breaking my balls about hybrid cars? I don't give a shit. I've been up all night.
Oh, you're tired? Who are you?
Is that what's crawling up your butt? That I was at the hospital last night when you told Mom you'd come? I didn't say one word to you about it. Neither did anyone else. We're also glad you fucking kicked your stomach flu, okay?
I saw how you looked at my plate of food. I can't eat in my own house?
I wasn't looking at your plate. It's all in your mind.
Oh my god.
They're turning into their parents, low key.
Don't you find this completely embarrassing?
What?
Our family? Our father gets shot by our goober fucking uncle? What is that?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
And why did Dad hang out with him?
You know, Dad, he takes those things seriously, all the Italian family stuff.
Look at these fucking reporters.
He wants to talk to them so bad.
He wants to cuss them out.
Hey! Fuck you!
You're right.
Front page, TMZ.
Angie phoned. Guess she's very busy over there with her body shop.
We brought that up last time, Charlie. You brought it up.
That was an actual roster of who stays with Dad when I'm not on it.
Frankly, AJ, I didn't think you'd be interested.
I was sick, and I've been trying to study.
Well, you cut him too much slack. You still protect him.
I know he avoids Tony because he can't face seeing him like this. It frightens him.
It frightens everybody. He should get a pass. You know, kids his age are getting blown up in Iraq. If that kid don't pull his end in this, he's never gonna forgive himself. And nobody else should either.
It's just that Tony has always loomed so large for AJ.
Well, maybe it's just that AJ is a selfish boy who doesn't give a shit.
I'm sorry your son is no longer with us, but don't use mine as a guinea pig for your ideas on parenting. I never saw you take a hard line.
Well, why do you think I'm talking to you like this?
Yeah, Rose got sense, bro. People need to, yeah.
Yeah, at least she is admitting to it.
If you are there in the room when they change the dressing, it's very hard to take. And I don't know that AJ should see that.
So tell them to get out of the room when they're changing the dressing.
I don't think he's seen it yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
let
they
him in.
should, they're gonna say something when they're doing it. So just get out of the room if you don't want to see it.
My gosh, they're literally on the property.
Get the f off the property. Hey, I warned you yesterday. The curb line is your limit.
Your husband ever talk about Junior Soprano's mental state?
I did hear him telling other people how Junior was getting more and more confused. If you have any more questions, you're gonna have to call my lawyer.
When he was taken into custody, Junior made pointed references to McGuire sisters, Sam Giancana.
You mean the Kennedy assassination? You mean as related to this?
I had to ask.
My husband was 3 years old.
It's mad funny. Junior's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
She's still going?
Yeah. I do think she's actually like pretty affected by it.
No, I think so too. The only reason I was laughing earlier because she was like, "It's my turn. I gotta stand up here and be." And then all of a sudden she gets in there. She's a mess.
Yeah. Is AJ gonna be the one, his lifeline, or one that gets him out of the coma? So far, we've seen like everybody talk to him, and he hasn't woken up.
Oh wow.
The Shelby GT500, 450 horsepower. And this guy on campus has one. And the Mustang's not as expensive as the M3 I used to talk about getting all the time.
He's gonna wake up because AJ's so damn annoying.
Or because he's just there bro talk. Uh-oh, this isn't gonna go well.
Oh, Ahmed. You guys here again? You ought to put up a tent on this f***ing bar.
How's Tony? The girl said that he was hurt pretty bad.
He's keeping his dick up.
His uncle did this to him? I was saying to Muhammad, why the hell?
Not something we talk about.
Please, give Tony our best when you talk to him.
I will.
Feels like Chris is like running stuff a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
I mean,
he's next in line, technically.
Well, the conciliary is doing it. Sills,
Right.
you know, you saw Sill at the funeral, taking over the Bing, that kind of thing.
Come on. Wake up, cliffhanger.
I'm gonna get Uncle Junior for this.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Uh-oh. Bad idea.
I watched since I was little how nice you were to him. And he doesn't just get to do this to you. I'll put you in here and get away with it. You're my dad. And I'm gonna put a bullet in his fucking mummy head.
Oh, yikes.
I promise.
How's he doing?
They didn't come back with the fever medicine yet.
I'm so proud of you, AJ. You can't imagine how much this means to your father.
Who knows what it means? He just lies there.
Well, it means a lot to me then. How about that? Thank you for doing it. You've helped your family tremendously.
I flunked out of school.
Ooh.
I ended up with a 1.4 for the quarter, and the freshman dean said there was no point in coming back.
With your father in a coma.
I didn't tell Dad. Be positive, everybody said.
My God.
I tried really hard in philosophy, but that professor...
With your father in a coma. Go have breakfast.
I can't believe he thought that was the right time to say it.
Bad time to break the news. But he was like, I'm going to use this opportunity since she's...
Being nice.
On my side right now.
Wake up, Kevin.
Anthony, can you hear us?
Phoning it in? Not today.
She need that light always at the... Always consistent.
It's like Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. They
Wow.
just cut
Keep him in the coma, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder how that episode would have been for him to film. Just like speaking in the different accent, like all that stuff. That's so interesting.
It like, threw me off. It's like he all of a sudden just did not become Tony Soprano anymore.
Yeah.
It was somebody else.
We got another dream sequence episode.
Yeah.
And wow, I think from my perspective and what I, seeing it for the first time, I think it was an episode where we saw Tony, aka Kevin, in this episode, search for his identity and try to gain it back. I think that's one aspect of it. I'm just wondering, starting with Charlie, is there another aspect that you found in those sequences with Tony in the hotel, in multiple hotel rooms, in conversations with Carmela, not calling her at the end? Like, what do you think all of it encompassed?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure about it yet. I'm still processing, but the one thing I mentioned before is when the doctor told him he has like potential signs of like Alzheimer's and stuff, I think now he is getting to see like what Junior is kind of going through and getting that perspective. Also, I think there's some aspect of identity crisis potentially in his life that could have some symbolism within the dreams, where he's not too sure like who he is or who he wants to be. We saw the moment where he was making out with whoever that lady was that was also at the conference, and then he actually decides to like not. They both decide not to go through with sleeping together and stuff, and I think it's him analyzing like another side of what his life could have been. So it's like he has these certain temptations that are present in his current life, and they're kind of like appearing in the dream at some points, and he is choosing to go the opposite way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
At least in that one instance there, it happened.
Yeah, I thought the whole dream was super, super interesting. I really, firstly, just from a show running perspective and writing, like I thought the choice to make him a different version of himself was really interesting. Just letting James Gandolfini speak the way that he normally speaks. So I'm pretty sure that's how he speaks. I've seen one or two interviews of him, generally speaking. So I just love that choice because I think it shows you that something completely is different, and like this is not actually Tony. Like something is different about this person. So I thought that was just clever.
Yeah,
storytelling. Simple little thing like that. To Charlie's point, I think the Alzheimer's thing where he goes to the hospital and the doctor's like, clearly this is the MRI showing signs of Alzheimer's, is kind of to like bring out like his empathy in this tragic situation that happened to him. I know he had Junior shoot him and like almost kill him, put him in a coma, and everybody's pissed off at him. Everybody hates him, but like in this moment, he's like reflecting on it. He's like, it's a death sentence. Like this sucks for people. It's a brutal life to live because you're confused. You don't know what's going on. And I think that was supposed to show a little bit of empathy in that sort of situation.
And his mother too, right? Had some signs of
I think
Alzheimer's towards the end.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it was dementia specifically for Livia, but something like that. So I thought that point was really interesting. I thought the whole Kevin Finnerty thing was so interesting. To me, like, to put it in simple terms, and it's sort of a cliche, but it's a little bit of like searching for yourself, like at the end of, your life, like what did you accomplish? Like what were you? And he's kind of at this boring conference, like this thing that nobody really knows what he does. And, he's being lauded, but clearly he doesn't really care about like any of the accomplishments or anything like that. And you could tell he's like missing his wife, he's missing his family and all these sorts of things. Yeah. So it was a little bit of a reflective, like what was it all for moment.
Yeah.
In my perspective. So I thought that was really an interesting way of having him reflect on a near death or post death experience of like what has my life amounted to.
Right.
I don't even know who I am. Nobody knows who I am. And in a little while, because I have Alzheimer's or potentially have that, like nothing's gonna matter. So it felt very existential in that way.
Right.
Potentially, you could see Tony becoming a different person after all this. If he, I'm assuming he's going to come out of the coma and everything. He, the whole experience in itself, plus the dream sequence.
Yeah.
I think he'll have a potentially change of heart of who he wants to be, what his priorities are potentially.
Yep.
And also, like, you could see him in the dream, like the character of Kevin Finnerty, like how he approached certain things when there were obstacles. If it was Tony Soprano, he would have dealt with that very differently. He probably would have been bribing people or, hitting back at the monks and stuff like that. Like, so it was a totally different person.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I'm very interested to see if he will somehow start to shy away from the mob life more after this.
Yeah, well, so it's really interesting for me because in watching...
Sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, if he starts to shy away from the mob life after this, while AJ starts to dive into it because he wants revenge on Junior.
Yeah. And now he's flunked out of school, too. Kind of perfect opportunity. Yeah, that could be an interesting thing to watch. I was going to say that it's interesting for me to watch this having seen Breaking Bad first and knowing that so much of that story is directly influenced. Like even some of the plot points, like the marriage story specifically, to me, like towards the end of Breaking Bad, the relationship with like Skylar and Walter becomes more amicable, and it seems like things are back to normal, which is sort of where they were here, and it's all because of kind of a near-death experience.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that at this point, because to me it means like, and I know we're at the end of the show, so like some sort of demise is coming. We know that, although we might not know exactly what that looks like. It feels like we're getting to that point. It's like at this point, I'm curious because it was a very, it's an interesting choice for it to not go the obvious route and have him wake up from that coma in that one episode.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's going to be dragged out in that way? Is there any possibility that he doesn't make it out of the coma, or
he's going to make it out?
He's gonna make it out. He's gonna make it out. Now, I just think I don't think they're gonna hold it for another episode.
No.
I think we'll see him waking up next episode. But there is 20-something episodes in this season.
They could coma him for a good 5 episodes.
Never know
they could do that and then develop the other characters with revealing what AJ is going through. Christopher in this episode, I think, was also really big in his development as well. So yeah, you can definitely have him in the coma for a couple more episodes and then develop the characters around him and the dynamics of the mob and how this is all shaping up. But I wouldn't expect it to be anything. I wouldn't expect it to go for 5 episodes. I think that'd be way too crazy, especially for the final season.
That's true. You know what I keep thinking about, bro, is like, imagine what the FBI is thinking in the middle of all this.
Yeah,
they had Raymond as like their chief informant, croaks. Then they had this other guy they were going to prop up. This man kills himself. And they're like, okay, well, we still got the Junior Soprano trial and everything like that. And now he freaking almost kills his nephew. They're like, bro, what is going on? So like in their minds, I don't know if they're like, is this some sort of concerted effort to like keep things quiet? And it's like, no, bro, people just keep dying left and right. And your plans keep getting messed up for no reason.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like, I keep thinking about it. I just think it's funny.
All because their approach is dumb too. But
what I found very fascinating in this episode was the Carmela on the phone versus the Carmela in real life.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to start with Abe. What stood out to you in that dynamic, what we heard from Carmela that didn't sound like Carmela in the dream versus the Carmela that we know? And specifically, there was 2 moments that stood out to me is when she's talking to him in the dream, and I forget what she says, but she says, I think something about the past. I'm forgetting. But in translation, we go to reality Carmela, and she is just talking about how good of a father he is and all this, and all this aspect of how great Tony is. And then in the dream sequence, there is a little bit of
she's
a
less
different
warm
vibe.
in the dream sequence. Like you don't feel like it's the same Carmela, not just because of the voice, but like what she's saying just feels less warm, feels less like lovey in a way. And I found that to be very, very interesting because, you know, in this case, it was like Tony calling Meadow and, oh, you made volleyball, like that's nice, and like it's almost like he's the warm parent. So it almost felt like the scripts were flipped a little bit there. But yeah, I think some of this almost felt like polar opposites of like what was happening in real life, like everything from the voice to the demeanor for Tony and everything, and then you get Carmela on the phone, sounds different, seems to be acting differently. And I don't know if it almost was like a parallel universe of like what life could have been, in that, you know, in this kind of dream sequence. But even then, I think one of the things that we realize and we see in that parallel universe is Tony's not happy. He doesn't look happy, and not just because of the situation, but like it feels like something about his life is like nagging him, to some degree, and not knowing if maybe he chose the right path. You know, he talks about his job, and he's like, I don't know. You know, what was it all for? Like, who cares? Which I found to be maybe more reflective of like his own personal well-being and like his depression or anything like that. You know, like that stuff still rings true regardless of everything else. So yeah, I thought that was the Carmela piece was super interesting because it just did not feel like her anytime we were talking to her on the phone. Like Tony, we could see it sounds like a different person because, you know, he's speaking a different accent, but like it's still Tony. And then with Carmela, it's like this just doesn't sound like this one.
Right. Charlie, what did you think?
To be honest, I'm not too sure because the accent, like that accent that they have, Jersey or Brooklyn or whatever, was kind of still present.
It was, but it was different. It was a different voice.
It was a different voice. Yeah. But I was almost trying to think if it was like supposed to kind of be a hybrid of like his previous Gumars mixed with Carmela
maybe
together. Like a Gloria and whoever else, Valentina put together. I don't know.
Who knows?
Not 100% on that one, but yeah. I think the whole point was just to kind of be like, nobody is as they seem right now in this world.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I think too that was like of significance that we saw in this episode was the mob and the family dynamic outside like of the hospital and being around Tony's family. Seems to be a little bit of squabbling going on. Nothing like too egregious, but you can see that Syl's trying to keep everybody on focus. Like, don't ask me about your personal selves right now. Like, focus on the family, whatever. And you got Vito being like,
literally
this needs
2
to go
seconds
to me.
later.
Like, he's like, yeah, that's cool, dude, but I want more money. Like, relax.
It's true.
So to me, it feels like, again, there's this comment that always sticks out to me that somebody wrote to us a while back about like, I don't remember if it was Johnny Sack or somebody in the New York crew was talking and being like, they're not a family, they're a glorified crew. And somebody had told us like, pay attention to that because it's significant. So it's like, you know, in the time of crisis in this family where the boss of the family is in, you know, in a coma, people are still thinking about how to get, you know, more money in their pocket. And I think that is significant. And we should keep an eye on that as we see Tony's progression and if he gets better or not, or if there's an opening for people to fill their pockets more.
Yeah. Also, the phone conversations, now that I'm thinking about it, some of the things there are reflective of what's happening in like the real world, I feel like as well. Because when he was talking to Meadow, she's mentioned, I made the volleyball team. That part, not so much. But then she started talking about AJ. He puked. Mom put him to bed. He got like a stomach flu from eating burrito or whatever in the real world. So there was I feel like there was some parallels there.
Maybe it was a reference to like AJ's anxiety because we know that like that's a thing, right? Like he has his little panic attacks where he
but
faints
also
and stuff too.
I also think it's like he is at some capacity perceptive to the things that they're saying while in the room with him.
Yep.
And so it's translating through the dream in some way.
It could be. It definitely could be.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like his anxiety, you know, we know that AJ's an anxious person, which is part of the reason he's not going into the hospital room.
Yeah.
So it could be exactly that, like Meadow basically making the excuse for why AJ's not there in the hospital supporting him. And he's like, oh, I kind of get it.
My only thing is if my theory there is accurate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to see him be receptive to what AJ said about killing Uncle Junior in the next episode?
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see anything like that. I'm assuming he's not going to know.
Yeah.
And do y'all think
Most likely not.
Do you think that AJ actually has the balls to do something like that?
No.
I don't know.
I have no idea. No.
He seems like someone who's all talk, but
yes, he's literally that.
Yeah, but you.
That's how
never
they built
know.
him up.
Like,
That's how he's been.
He could have
written
his
to
breaking
be.
point.
Yeah,
you know.
Maybe this is the breaking point.
Yeah. One last question for you guys. In the dream, we had this recurring theme of like the helicopter coming over, hovering, and like honing in on Tony. What did you guys think about that? What do you think it symbolized?
Could symbolize, that he's always under investigation with the feds, but also it was a signal to the hospital watching over him, right? If you saw if you saw the lights and everything, when he would look up, it would open up and you'd see doctors. So it was in that sign as well.
Yep.
I think I also saw in that aspect as well with the helicopters, like there's always someone watching you. There's always someone who is behind your back. There's always someone who's there, but you don't know who.
Yeah. I think it's also just so interesting because like in the dream, just talking about like, oh, they're looking for a perp. And like, who is Tony looking for this whole time? He's looking for this Kevin Finnerty dude.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the helicopter being like, bro, you are one and the same. like we are looking for you.
It's you. Yeah. That's also very true.
Like look inside yourself. Like what you're looking for is within you.
Yeah.
Almost a little bit.
And I think
that could be a reach, but
we also saw that the IDs were similar. Like it was him.
Can you go back?
It wasn't him, but
it wasn't him.
No, the photo is someone different.
It looked almost exactly like him.
The photo's someone different for sure.
Keep going. Right here. Yeah, I think it is because the guy's got hair.
Oops, sorry, I went back.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But the signature is totally off.
Oh, the signature is different. But the specific picture is like they're.
Oh no, the picture is a different guy.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna pan up right there. Okay. Yeah. Like
oh yeah, it kind of looks like him.
But it does look like him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why.
So interesting.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
But it's not. So.
I would love to see. I don't know if it's gonna come up on Wise Guys, but I'd love to see Chase talk about this episode.
We also, Christopher in this episode was a little different.
Yeah.
Charlie, I know you brought it up. Just wondering what you saw from Christopher in this episode that stood out to you.
Well, he seems to have no remorse for Gene, dying, right? Didn't he say something about like, oh, look at this guy took the easy way out or something like that? So he's like super insensitive. But also, didn't we see him? When he was talking to the feds, right? It seemed very confident of the fact, like, hell no, I'm not going to talk to you guys. They kind of basically asked him to, be somewhat of an informant. But
like
specifically
terrorism.
when it comes to like terror and stuff like that. But I feel like that could lead to more if he participates. From what he says, he's not participating. But then we got that scene with the two Middle Eastern looking dudes in the Bing.
Yeah, it was Ahmed and Mohammed. They're not being subtle there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that interaction was different. Not sure. I'm not sure who those guys are. I don't know how they know each other.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know with Christopher.
Maybe, a seed was planted in terms of informing. Maybe it's like, let's remember that interaction that he had with the feds.
But the thing is,
maybe it was not.
The reason why I think in that case he might fall into it is because it's not informing for the family that he's part of. It's informing outside against someone else. But if they get him involved there, they could start to get him more involved in informing on his own side of things, especially if another one of the scenarios where he has a falling out with Tony happens again. We've had the instances where we see him like curse Tony out and say all this shit to Adriana when she was alive. But that could now happen towards the feds if he's involved with them. I don't know. might be a reach.
But I was looking at Christopher almost like he was like had like this extra air of confidence in this space, and almost felt like, you know, him talking to the feds in the way that he did almost felt like similar to what Tony would have done. And it just felt like he was like a little bit of like coming into his own. And I don't know if he's looking at this. Obviously, I don't think he wants Tony to die, but I think, you know, is it crossing his mind right now that like, hey, if he's dead, like, what's my role and how do I step up? Yeah, I don't know about the informing piece. We'll find out how that all goes, but these little interactions with the feds are making me curious for sure.
Yeah. And we had scenes with Janice and how people are reacting to the situation. Janice seemed she was shocked, distraught, like it really hit her. And just dynamically, you know, we're seeing how this is affecting everyone. And I thought that was a very good thing to do in terms of writing. Just wonder anything else that stood out to you guys that hasn't been brought up.
No, I don't think so.
All right. With that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode. We love you guys and see you soon for more Tony Tuesday. Stay beautiful, y'all.
See ya.